So far, you've learned that leveraging data is a critical part of digital transformation. And no matter what your role is, you can unlock new business value by thinking about data in new ways. A helpful starting point is to identify and map your data. Let me explain. A data map is a chart of all the data used in end-to-end business processes. For example, imagine that you own a chain of apparel retail stores. What might you include in your data map? A customer purchases an item in one of your stores. That's a data point. If you aggregate that with other purchases across stores in each region, you have a type of data, transactions. We call this a data set. Another data set might be item returns. Another is footfall in your stores. You may have noticed that all of these data sets are about your users. User data is therefore your first data bucket. This category contains all data from customers who use or purchase your services and products. Now let's think about data that is more operational. For example, data about staffing levels in each store, stock delivery dates, overall sales performance of each store, and store staffing structure. That's how many people are in fitting rooms versus at the cash register. These fall into the second bucket of data, corporate data. Corporate data includes data about the company, such as sales patterns and operations. Can you think of more data sets that you'd have as the retail owner? A third category serves as the umbrella for user and corporate data. We'll call it industry data. Industry data is data found outside an individual organization that everyone in the sector needs to view or access to gain knowledge about a specific domain. This could include wider trends, purchasing patterns, and publicly available research papers. These three buckets make up your data map. As you add more data sets to each bucket, you'll eventually gain richer insights. But how can I sort these data sets further? Well, I can use a check mark to identify the data sets I currently have and a question mark to label the data sets I think I can get. Now your data is mapped out with a list of the different data sets you have or think you can get. How can you make your data actionable? Start playing with the intersections between your data sets. Take two or more data sets and ask yourself, what insight could I gain if these data sets were combined? For example, suppose you're a sales manager at a biomedical diagnostics company. You provide a range of diagnostic tools to hospitals and laboratories across the region. One of your data sets is sales of each product. You also have some data sets about the hospitals themselves, including specialties, location, patient turnover, and central laboratory facilities. In this case, by integrating how many products are sold at each hospital with all the other data sets you have for the hospital, you have a clear insight into what makes your ideal customer. Here's another example. If you took Introduction to Digital Transformation with Google Cloud, you might remember Jane. She's a personal banker. What does her data ecosystem look like? Well, user data sets might include user demographics, user financial history, and previous user interactions. Corporate data sets might include sales by financial product, sales conversation call logs, and performance metrics of financial portfolios. Banking is a heavily regulated industry, so a lot of industry data is available, including industry benchmarks. Another set of industry data is stock performance and other investment trends. Jane, her colleagues, and her competitors at other banks all have access to this data. By integrating her user demographics data with product purchases, she can begin uncovering demographic indicators that are significant for predicting product purchases. Now it's your turn. Take a piece of paper and write user data, corporate data, and industry data. Think about what data set you have in each. Then consider how different data sets can be combined to create valuable insights. In the next section, we'll explore the different data modalities and why they matter in digital transformation.